Inferno, Canto 29. Having passed by Jerry del Baio, a relation of Dante, they proceed into the 10th gulf, from which arise shrieks of woe as from an hospital. Here are punished the alchemists who divers diseases. The numerous tribes in various gashes deep had to the brim with tears so filled mine eyes, I gladly would have stood a while to weep, but Virgil said to me, Why gazest thou? Why fix thy looks in melancholy guise on the disfigured shades that lie below? Not so thy wont in any former cell, but if to count them all, thy wish may be. Think, 22 miles extends the vale, the moon already lies beneath our feet. To journey on but little time have we, and things as yet unseen thine eye will meet. Didst thou, I answered him, the reasoned way, why such a close attention I bestowed, thou mightest perhaps have pardoned my delay. My guide moved on as I answer gave, behind him still continuing my road, and adding this, I deem within that cave, whereon my eyes were so intently bent, dwells a sad spirit, one to me allied, who rues his dear-brought crimes with deep lament. Let not compassion for his woes detain the pensive soul, but turn, exclaimed my guide, to other objects, and let him remain. Whom at the bridge's foot I chanced to see, pointing and threatening thee with look enraged, Jerry del Bello, as I heard, was he, with him who erst in Altafort bore sway. Thy thoughts so wholly were the while engaged that Jerry passed unnoticed on his way. His violent death, dear leader, I exclaimed, yet unavenged on earth by those who shared, and still remained partakers of the shame, inspired his scorn, so that in contumely he silent passed, nor to accost me cared. Hence for his fate I feel more sympathy. Thus spake we till the next pit came in sight, which from the bridge's summit would be viewed, into the bottom where the stronger light, o'er Malbolger's last sad cloister now, arriving on the highest arch we stood, whence its contents could all be seen below. Here by discordant shrieks was I assailed, whose shafts were barbed with pity, whence my hand, to close mine ears against them I upheld, as were the wailings if, when autumn reigns, each lesser house, in sad Sardinia's land, in Valdiciana and Maremma's plains, forth in one trench could all their sufferers pour. Such here was heard, and thence came stench as rank, as issues from foul wounds and festering sore. The bridge now crossed, we made our downward way, still bearing to the left along the bank. Then more distinctly could mine eye survey the deep abyss, where racked by throes appear the forgers whom the handmaid of the Lord, unerring justice, dooms and classes here. With greater sorrow none could have beheld Aegina's race weighed down by plagues aboard, when with such pestilence the air was filled, that every animal exhausted fell into the little worm, and by the seed of emmets, so that fabling poets tell, this ancient people was again renewed. That was my grief, when in the valley dread, the shades I saw in numerous parcels strewed, one on another's breast, one on the back recumbent, one on all fours endured his pain, slow crawling forward o'er the mournful track. Step after step we went, nor held debate, but gazed upon the sick, who all in vain strove their enfeebled forms to elevate. Seated were two, each other who sustained, as pan props pan while heating on the fire, from head to foot with leprous blotches stained. No groom who longs to hie him in his home, or hastens to fulfill his lord's desire, ere plied so rapidly the currycomb, as each around him plied his nails amain, so furious did the irritation seem, and this the only aid they could obtain. Thus the parched skin they drew off with the nail, e'en as a knife scrapes off the coat from bream, or from fish that bears a larger scale. My guide, addressing one of them, began, O thou, who to relieve thee from annoy, usest thy nails like pinchers now and then, Tell me, among the numbers here that lie, is any Latian soul to thy employ? So may the nails suffice eternally. We whom thou seest thus mangled from the land of Latium came, cried one in tones of grief. But who art thou who makest the demand? My escort said, One am I, who descend to guide this living soul from reef to reef, and in through hell to lead him I intend. Then started they asunder at the word, and in alarm each trembling turned to me, with others who the echoing voice had heard. Now drew the gracious master to my side, and whispered, Say to them what pleaseth thee. I, thus beginning, with his wish complied. May your remembrance yet on earth survive, fresh in the thoughts of men to your content, through many a year remaining still alive, as ye may now your birth and race declare. Nor let this foul, disgusting punishment deter you from announcing who ye are. I from Arezzo hither came, one cried, by Albaro of Siena burnt, though here not sent to expiate that for which I died. 'Tis true in joke I did to him profess that I had learned to wing my flight through air. Vast were his wishes, but his wisdom less. To learn my art was therefore his desire, and since I made him not a Daedalus, he had me burnt by his reputed sire. But to the last dread chasm of all the 10 unerring Minos doomed me, for the use I made of alchemy while lying. Then I to the poet said, Now half so vain was ever nation as these Sienese, not e'en the French so much, so I maintain. Whereat the other leper made reply, Stricca indeed accepted, if you please, who use the good of life so temperately, and Nicholas, whose art first mixed the fruit of cloves prepared as a rich condiment, plucked from the garden where the plant took root, accepting also that illustrious crew, mongst whom his woods and vineyards Cassius spent, and famed for wisdom Abigliata too. But come, towards me do thou direct thine eye, to know who backs thee in thy argument, and let my features grant thee a reply. So shalt thou see I am Capocchio's shade, who metals could transmute by alchemy. And thou, if well I have thy face surveyed, wilt know that nature's practiced ape was I.